longer you stay in the playable, higher like quality of the player you become, and then you're more likely to pay, which is
the correlation to
the
quality.
duration is correct. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Interesting.
So, I mean, like this is very, very interesting. The whole playable section of the creative world, because nobody's talking about it too much.
It's 4 a.m. and we're rolling the dice. Mate drops knowledge made of golden eyes. Felix with ads making those coins rise. Jack up designs, worlds chasing the sky. We're the 2.5 gamers, the midnight crew. Talking UA adverts and game design too. Mate, Felix, Shaka bringing the insight. We're rocking those vibes till the early daylight. Mate, UA, master eyes on the prize. Tracking data through the cyberspace skies. Felix stacks dollars like a wizard in disguise. Jackup's crafted realms lift us to the highs. 2.5 gamers talking smack. Slow hockey stick, got your back. Ads are beautiful, they light the way. Click it fast, don't delay.
Okay, real talk before we start. This episode is brought to you by Potensus. And if you're a mobile game publisher tired of leaving money on the table, listen up. Potensus is a premium ad network built by people who have actually been on both sides of this industry. Game publishers, agencies, successful exits. So they get it. Here's the thing. Potensus has direct deals with Amazon, Apple, Coca-Cola, Vodafone. It's not programmatic. It's direct. Those budgets land in your game at premium CPMs, no middleman tax. And they handle everything with their in-house team in terms of the creatives. Plus, they've partnered with PlayableMaker WINK WINK. So they will take brands' YouTube videos or static images and actually turn it into a playable ad or revert video. Proper interactive format built for gaming inventory. Brands getting a gaming native creative, publishers are getting a higher CPMs. Everyone wins. Head to potensus.com to get started or check their creative portfolio in the link in the show notes. Thank you very much, Potensus, for sponsoring this episode. Hello, everybody. We are going to do playable trends for March 2026, which we've never done before. And that's why I have a new crew, because the other guys, I'm done with them. No, jokes aside. My name is Matej Lančarić. And you guys now, since you are the new kids on the block, you introduce yourselves as well. So let's start with Andre.
And I'm Andre, and I'm from PlayableMaker. Nice to be here. It's my first podcast ever, so bear with me.
Yeah, you're going to do fine, just fine.
Yeah, and I'm John Wright. I'm the CEO of Turbrilla, and this is not my first podcast.
So for the next time, when I say Matej Lančarić, you say John Wright, and you Andre Mosberger, and then we are your hosts. So hello, everybody. We are your hosts. So we're going to talk about playable trends, because we never did this before. Guess what? Playables are very important. No shit. And we only do videos and AI. So this is going to be on the menu from now onwards. So, okay. So, as you might have noticed, if you are a subscriber of Brutally Honest, there is usually a monthly Playable Ads Trends article as well, which is done by Andre. So, there you go. Yep. And we can go over that, and we can also then go over some games and their latest latest playables. So, I'm going to show you that. And I can see some interesting stuff right there. So where do we want to start? Do we want to go over the games first, or?
I think let me do the intro for the article, because then we can discuss it. And if we don't have nothing else to talk about, then we can talk about gaming, I guess, right?
Do we need to say what Playable is? Like, how many people?
No. Okay, come on, man. I mean, this is not like 2010. I mean, if you don't, dear listener, if you don't know what the Playable is, thank you very much. See you never.
Yeah, leave now, yeah.
Leave now, yeah. Leave now. This is not for you.
You can reach out to me and we can start there. That's fine. Like, let's do some promo as well.
Okay.
All right, so the topic for today mostly will be about playable ads for applications, utility, so not specifically about gaming. It doesn't mean that there was no trend for gaming at all or anything like that, but since this article is being published every month, obviously we cannot tell every month, like, Candy Crush was crushing it again this month, or like it's important trend. It's important to check. But what we are doing each month is we are trying to see something different. So usually the workflow is that you filter playables, new creatives, uploading, and there you start, and then you just somehow like try to spot some sort of weird things. And that was actually what caught my and Matej's attention at first. Like when you apply this filter in Sensor Tower, you immediately saw that in first 10, 20, 30 playables, like every second, every third was actually not a game in new creatives. And that's why basically this topic started.
I'm going to say this is the most important part because gaming and playables are married together, and the apps business, they have their own tricks in terms of the UA and creatives and everything. They are yet to discover AppLovin as an interesting UA channel. What people don't know, because you can still run a lot of interesting UA on AppLovin, but you need playables. And I know Codeway and the guys from Turkey that they are with like a large app portfolios. They know how to run fucking AppLovin campaigns, but the rest of the world, not really. And I must say, from my end as well, when I started AppLovin for my apps, my God, it's really, really working well. So that's why we see this graph pretty much.
This is why AppLovin have also recently launched this creation tool for e-coms, right, Matej? Like they've got this new feature. I think it's in beta, so it's not rolled out fully. But eventually, I imagine they'll do playables for e-coms as well at some point.
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen. They have AI for videos and pretty much static images as well. Playables, yes, but it's obviously a little bit harder than just
much harder.
a few clicks. Yeah. Same with like AI videos for games per se. So yes, we are getting there.
Yeah,
we are getting there.
Interesting fact was that if you check now just this graph, which is basically there's no filter in terms of what kind of genre it is or whatever, you can see that, although I'm not quite sure if novels and reading books is actually now considered a gaming or not, but
it's something in between.
Microdrama.
You can see how they are dominating basically in terms of impression, the first three of them. But basically, this is what happened when you see just the overall picture. There is this is software update needed. Like how many times I'm fixing my mom's tablet because she thinks that she installed like fifth PDF viewer or whatever it is, right? And stuff like this.
I said this story also on the podcast because I was visiting my mom, and he was like, I'm playing Farm Hero Saga, and then in between I'm playing these all different games. It's like, what do you mean? So I'm playing Farm Heroes, and then suddenly there's an ad. It's like, and there's a playable. Like, okay, so you mean to play? You're actually playing a playable of a different game, and then you come back to the original games. Like, okay, that's amazing.
Yeah. But basically, this is the main part here that to take from let's say from this part to gaming is that we will be mostly showing 2 or 3 types of playables. That's what we are even mentioning in the newsletter. One is example like this. Why I mentioned this specifically for gaming is because I get this question quite a lot. Like, and Matej, you were talking about it quite a lot as well. Like everybody wants to create that perfect playable. They want the long gameplay and everything. I'm all for that. Like, please do that as much as possible. I wish we will be living in a world where every playable will be basically my game that I will be installing in a couple of seconds and doing that.
Sure.
Yes. In the meantime, you will be competing with, static images with just blinking text. It's a playable as well. And these guys might take, not your job, but, portion of your traffic and portion of installs. Don't be afraid to do so. Like, it's still a playable. It's a fourth format. So it's not just text and image and video, but it's basically your fourth channel that just you need to utilize. If you cannot utilize it fully, start here. Start with this kind of simple end cards. And then, of course,
push back on this.
Go ahead.
And I don't want to make like a promo for PlayableMaker, but instead of this end card, you just do template from PlayableMaker, and it's 100% better because it's multiple clicks, and this will eat all your budget. So yes, you can start here, but you can make wrong decisions based on this interactive end card because then suddenly you say, "Oh, AppLovin doesn't work." Well, it doesn't work because the creative sucks.
Yeah.
So it's like a chicken egg problem.
I agree. Let me rephrase it. Is that don't try to get only that one. You know what I'm saying. try to get all the types that exist. Like for example, in this one, I already see that it's vibe coded based on the fonts and in everything. Like so,
yeah, exactly.
John will probably be talking about some vibe code there. So I already see it, but this is couple of interactions, you get the idea, and it's an application. It's not a game. It's gamification of something that will never look like this in your investment app or whatever it is. And that's what you are just trying to do. Like this is the thing that you're trying to take from these applications. I mean, because they are not afraid, because they don't have a gameplay to show. So of course they need to be creative with whatever ideas they have in their mind, and however they can catch the attention. And basically that's what they need to do. Photo cleaners, like how much creative you can get. You can get a Tinder-like application that, again, I see that is web coded, by the way. And basically this is what you need to do. This is exactly the part where you will go. So there are this kind of, I call it like no interaction playables, which is literally like an image with a download button, and you are going to CTA. Then there is this second aspect of what I was trying to show here, that you have got a couple of examples, couple of iterations. Okay, you click anywhere, it does nothing. Then in the end, you go to the App Store. But then we have also something that I called onboarding. I'm not sure if I will have it somewhere here, but it's a huge thing for mobile applications, because if you don't have a gameplay, you are a mobile application, you don't have that much to show in terms of, you will not show, in this case, some sort of calendar or something, and instead of click on it, but you have an onboarding. So as a user, I will actually think that I'm already onboarded. I get the idea what I will be doing, even though I will probably reproduce this whole onboarding again in the application. That's fine. But you absolutely sell everything that you can sell to the user, the attention, everything that she or he will be doing. And this is exactly what you are trying to push. You basically step the boundary. He already knows what he will be doing. That's it. And it's not rocket science. Like, these playables can be really created, yes, in our tool as well. Use any other tools that you would like to have. But this is, you need a couple of images and text and fonts for this
and
one.
That's
and
it.
You are done.
That's it. That's a great example, because if you remember, we did the playable for a rewarded UA app, which, I mean, like, what are you going to do there? So we figured, like, we're just grabbing some what was it, gift cards falling from the top to the bottom of the playable, and that's it. And it was performing really well. So with apps, you can get more creative and then just use whatever onboarding you have in there, and then just put it into playable, which means the expectation flow is very solid, because whatever you see in the playable and then you actually get into the in the app, then this is pretty much it. Yeah, this is pretty much
it. Yeah, something like this.
This is exactly. But instead of the pig, we had the bag in there. So it's exactly.
But these sort of templates, like things that people can easily resonate with, right? Like core game loops that are very, very common, and then you're just applying like the brand to it, and then people are getting hooked by something they already know, but then they're absorbing the brand and then clicking to find out what it is and know more. So I think, look, it's a very logical strategy, dude.
Of course, and it's also easy to make. So you don't really need to think. It's easy to make.
Yeah,
and you can make it even.
Sorry, like, that's just my only outcome of this is, like, don't overthink it. Like, create as much as possible. Don't overthink it. And Matej will tell you to test as much as possible. Yet, of course, sometimes the most polished thing will work, and sometimes you will realize that maybe 100 of these things will overdo, whatever effort you spend somewhere else. You never know.
That's also true, because we are living in a world where number of creatives sometimes overpower the quality of them, which is quite sad. But still, I mean, it's more shots on goal, meaning more opportunity to find a winner. Easy as that.
But that's why we're talking about trends, right? Like, you're talking about trends. If that's the trend, that will be, if the trend will be tomorrow to create one playable, then we will be talking about that probably.
That's
right?
very true.
But no, this point, it's the whole thing of the AppsFlyer State of Gaming report said there was 2,600 creatives produced in a quarter now, Matej, right?
In a quarter,
and obviously AI is allowing you to increase the production of video, statics, playables. All of that is very true. But I do feel like we're losing some of the original sort of core metrics around like what percentage of creatives made turned into a hero creative, right? Like the qualitative side of it. And I feel like we've done the production thing, and now it's the quality thing in terms of the bottleneck, and I think there has to be a rebalance, and I do think we are getting the creatives produced by AI are getting much better, to be honest with you, over the last 6 months. So I think we are going to solve that naturally, but it's still something we should ask ourselves,
like the win rate which is pretty much like the percentage of like how many creatives turn into hero creative, it usually stays the same, or let's say plus minus, so give or take like a couple of percentages. But the thing is, like, let's say you have a 10% win rate. It's the same thing as the logic behind the fake ads. You produce 1,000 creatives versus you produce 10 creatives. The win rate usually stays the same. And even if it decreases a little bit, it's not going to decrease dramatically. So again, you have more shots on goal, meaning most probably still more winners afterwards.
Yeah.
But yes, obviously, if you have more like higher velocity, but also higher quality, then the win rate skyrockets.
Yeah.
And it's better.
But I get what you're saying. If the win rate goes down by 50%, but your production's gone up by 10x, then you're still producing more winning creatives overall.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but then we can come back to the point that Andre was making, which is interactive end card, couple clicks, let's say 2-3 clicks, then I would say 5 to 10, and then 10 plus, which is then like the long form, or how Uplovin frames it as never-ending creative, which is a great thing on paper, but then I'm not sure how does it going to work. It's never-ending, because then you still need to get under 5 megabytes.
And also, man, you want the user to eventually mature to downloading the app, right? Like, you don't want them just playing the same thing for 10, 20 minutes and never downloading. You have to guide the user, in my opinion.
I know, but that's very true. But the longer they stay in the playable, the higher the chance they actually download the game and then become payers. That's what they also Uplovin says, and also Gonzalo from Boombin mentioned. Longer playables work for them, because then it's pretty much like you're massaging the player and giving them like the whatever they will experience in the game. Then therefore higher chance of install and then becoming a payer. That's what Uplovin said last year in Barcelona as well. Like, the longer you stay in the playable, higher like quality of the player you become, and then you're more likely to pay, which is the duration is correct. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
So yeah, I mean, like, this is very, very interesting. The whole playable section of the creative world, because nobody's talking about it too much. I mean, kind of. We are kind of.
But we are. This is what we're here for.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And I know, like, there's the vibe coding, which we also have the PlayableMaker as a feature, but I'm also kind of experimenting with Claude and whatnot to build the playables on my own. And obviously it's possible. John, I think you also have a good experience with vibe coding and then AI and doing AI playables.
Yeah, look, dude, I mean, I know we speak about this offline, right? Because we're bouncing ideas off each other, but, you know, a playable strategy has evolved a lot over the last like 3 to 6 months. And traditionally, you know, we are obviously using PlayableMaker, we're using some external services, you know, and then we would discussing internally how we can improve our own internal production. And now it's in the last 3 months, like the stuff we're getting done with using Claude is quite miraculous. Like our best performing playable right now was coded by one of our engineers. So this person does know code, right? But he was able to create a playable so he was using Claude and Codex to bounce off each other and double check each other's work. And they ended up producing an iteration of another playable in a very slight or a different concept, utilizing the code of the other one. And that playable is now our best performing playable. And he was coding game code whilst this was doing it, you know, on the side. So it definitely has to be part of your a pillar of your strategy now is to do this. And it's very possible, man. You know, like, so you're doing it yourself. Like, it's very accessible to everyone.
No, I read some articles and listened to people talking about AI and stuff, and especially Claude. And since I started working with Claude, well, like 2 months ago, I was like, why so late? So that's the first thing. And second thing is, now you don't really need any programming skills. It's about your idea, vision, and the execution. Like, what do you want to do? And if that's clear in your head, then you can do whatever the fuck you want. You have all the tools in the whole world to make it that possible.
It's still, and maybe that's a curious question for John regarding, you know, all your IPs and so on, because we see that this kind of trend in our tool and the talks that I have with our customers or potential customers, like there are, I would say, already two groups. Like one, let's say, heavy users, like give me AI. Yesterday was already too late, like is Matej saying. And then the others are like, okay, exactly which models are you using? Where is my data going? What about my images? Are they stored in your server? How they are encrypted? Well, I completely understand why, but they will say like openly, like we will probably not use AI for the next 2 years. And I'm talking mostly about the big names that I have been talking about, obviously, because they are the more afraid. But I always tell them like, I understand that part, but you can give just the, a simple prompt to almost any AI that has access to internet and say like, I don't want to name any names, so I will use Turborilla. So I will use your example. So like create images of Turborilla motorbike. It will probably not get the example already online. So it's already out there. So it's kind of mixed world. Like we see either you are a heavy user or you are completely like trying to buffer everything that is even slightly related to AI, even if like translates a text or something like that, it's always.
So what was the question, Andre?
Turborilla.
What was the question? If you're afraid of like being IPs
No,
like
because Turbo is famous for its IP. Like, you have got these kind of things. On the other hand, I welcome your approach. So that's why I'm more encouraging you than asking you basically to tell us what's the right approach.
Yeah, look, man, it's a really interesting question. About a month ago, I actually worked on an internal company policy for AI usage, right? And this was a 15-page document that covered marketing, production, coding, like game coding. And, for us, you're right, because we have an IP and the Mad Skills IP has been downloaded nearly 250 million times, there is a sense of like IP protection, right? And we want to ensure that the art, especially, it remains true, right? And most of our art will remain human generated, right? Like I'd say like 90+%. But when it comes down to marketing, I think it's a little bit different. And I think the example you gave, Andre, is very important because like there's so many images, videos, and stuff on the web already of our games, right? The games have been in the open market for years. So there's enough material for people to reference. And all you need to do with the AI is have enough reference material and it will replicate it, Might not be 100%, but it will be close.
Close enough. Yeah, close enough.
But if people want to do this, and don't get me wrong, we actually found some examples recently when we were looking for inspiration for other playables of people ripping off our playables, including using our logo in there and using it to generate UA for them. We were like, what the fuck is going on, man? And this is
welcome
us.
to the UA world,
man.
Like, what are you talking about? It's happening all the time.
Yeah, dude. I was like, where does this guy live? I need to find this guy who's ripping us off. But no, like, if you want to be really precautious, then doing everything locally is like, I think, is best practice. And I think you need, if you're not already having some part of your AI usage locally, then you're already like too far gone, like you should have already be doing this for, I don't know how long. So that's one thing I would say. But the other thing is, again, it's already in the wild, man. Like people are replicating this stuff. It's happening to us. And again, even though we've got a big install count, we're still a very small developer to the likes of, EA or Supercell or Rovio, etc. So these people, their IP is definitely going to be, even if they don't use AI themselves, right? In this example, Rovio, like if Rovio, even if they're not putting their own assets in the AI themselves, there's enough assets out there for someone else to do it, So very, very sadly, like it's already out there, man, There's, and look, I think marketing again is very different to game development and art in game, and there's a difference there. But if you're concerned, run more stuff locally. But ultimately,
man, tell that to the legal team of these big companies, man. You will lose that battle. You will definitely lose the battle.
Yeah, look, we're an indie dev, so I've got a bit more control than the average dude, So I'm in a good position. But you are right. Like if you bring up this talk with a lawyer, internal counsel, general counsel of a studio, they're going to be like, don't do anything in AI, period.
Yeah.
But again, it's tough, man, because it's all out there in the wild. Like I said, it doesn't even need to be your own employees. Like you as Matej can go on YouTube now and get loads of gameplay footage and use that as reference material.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. You already have so many assets out there. On the other hand, if you don't really need to feed it with your own assets. That's all. That's a layer above of whatever is kind of living on the internet. But anyway, you were talking about the IP, and I'm still playing Playable, which is Tasty Travels. And I think you were talking for 5 minutes at least. Anyway, so we have this never-ending Playable, which is from our dear friend Century Games, and this is their minigame. And I wanted to show you this because then we go pretty much to Royal Match, and let's see what we have here. Oh, wait a second. It's the same fucking minigame. Hello. It's the same thing. And this is exactly what people should be kind of taking inspiration from, because this is absolutely, obviously, Royal Match has absolutely nothing to do with this minigame. But as we've seen before, Jig Solitaire, Pixel Flow, and whatnot, if there is a game or a game mechanic or anything which is a part of a big scale and people kind of recognize this, I've seen Dream Games using these different elements and kind of very successful elements and mechanics. They're using it in their own creatives, and especially Playables, because the month before Andre was talking about Dream Games and Royal Kingdom using like shit ton of different playable assets. And I remember the days when we were always saying, oh, you know what, Playables should always be connected to your gameplay. It shouldn't be fake.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay.
Authentic Playables, yeah.
Yeah, authentic. Yeah, exactly. And now I'm like, what happened? Then you open this Playable, and this is pretty much Township 1-to-1. Look, like, hello, here you have even the chickens here. It's just the same thing. If I go to, where is the Township? I have Township here, and if I go here, like, hello, it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. So and why I'm saying it's the same thing, and like why you should do it as well, I'm not saying it's just to copy this 1-to-1. I'm saying this because I still believe there are certain top performing concepts that whatever you do, and if you adapt this to your game and borrow these mechanics, it's going to work for you as well, right? So Township is using this, and we have one really long episode of deconstructing Township coming, and I was talking about this, and it's working for them for years. So that's why they're using, like, other companies or other games are using these kind of.
This is like the pizza Playable, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
this is like
the pizza one. What's it called? By Supercent.
Yeah, Supercent. Exactly. And I know Pizza Ready.
Yeah, this one.
It's Pizza Ready. So exactly. And
also, yeah, Century have got this as well with a winter theme one.
Exactly. With the winter theme, the Whiteout Survival is using this as well. And it's perfect, but it's like kind of misleading the player to something else. But then you watch all these different videos and you say, you know what? I don't even care. Then you open. Yeah, tell me.
No, finish. I have my opinion about the previous example. There's one use case that people are missing, probably can be covered in next trend. But go ahead and finish first.
Okay, because then I go to Century Games, different game. Which is Trackstar, and it's a match 3 game. And then there's nothing from match 3. Hey, there you go. Thank you very much. Although, this is a little bit from their theme, but nothing. Then they have this, which again has absolutely nothing to do with the match 3 gameplay. And it looks like a train station Playable that these guys made for them. It's like, what is this? Oh, I'm even showing train and gathering resources for a match 3 game. Because as soon as you show match 3, then, well, the CPMs are $100. Then you have all these different things. It's insane. So sorry, Andre. I think we can get back to.
No, that's fine. I might be wrong, but at least this will be absolutely subjective because it works on me as a user.
Because even
and that's. If you
town,
when you had all your previous examples, you can see all those different loading screens, all the right placement of right. For me, it's more about brand building, because if the core gameplay is, let's not use word stolen, but copied from one game to another, what is differentiated from you, except from the asset, is the logo, the beginning and the end, the end card and stuff like that. So for me, I will play 10 of these playables, and I will not probably install any of them because I know, but then in some way it's information stored in my head that it was this game or that game, and then eventually when I see it, so it's more like, I believe very truly that it's really like a brand building, which works better for me, for example, than all the others. So the loading screens are a perfect example, because if you see in theory, the loading screen shouldn't even be there. Like every ad network will tell you no loading screen is even it shouldn't even happen. Like Playable should be loaded right away. Of course, everybody wants to have a loading screen because you want to have the big king looking at you and your big, I don't know, motorbike in John's example or something like that, because that's the most important information that you store. The game, more of the players will realize that this was probably not exactly the game that I'm going to play, but I know the brand, I know the the thing that will follow. So it's more like a magic trick, I would say.
Interesting point of view, because I usually, that's for me. I don't even. Usually my head skips the loading screen, and it's like, I know these games already. So and again, I might be biased, but again, you have Travel Town, and you have again this mini game, which pretty much is the mini game from Tasty Travels. Royal Match uses it. Travel Town is using it. And Travel Town is using it even in videos, because they know it's really working well for Tasty Travels, and now Tasty Travels overtook them in terms of revenues, and they're even bigger than Travel Town, which is insane. So of course you want to kind of borrow some mechanics and some UA stuff that actually works for your competitor. So then yes, you have the logo here, but I mean, I will kind of try to think about it a little bit more.
Just remember, guys, we say imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Fuck that, man. I mean, come on.
No, on a serious note, what about the traditional gaming +1 strategy, right? Like a +1 is taking something that already exists and making an adaptation, right? Like some +1 new feature, slight adjustment. The gaming has been doing this since gaming began. So a lot of these people are just doing that. They're seeing what works. They're making a small adaptation, and it's not a 1-for-1 copy. There is some adjustment. If it's purely copycatting,
well, what do you
that's
mean?
different.
Look, there's even the same fucking thing that I just had with Travel Town. Look.
Yeah.
Look here. I'm ready. Then you go to Flambe, and it's exactly the same thing. See, even with I'm ready button.
Okay, that's copycatting. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not talking about this. Yeah.
Yeah, where's the fine line between these? Like, I mean, just this is 1-to-1. Oh boy, but this is I mean, insane. But I mean, whatever it's. So what are the trends? So besides, like, you go to the biggest players and then just take all their playables and they just use it on your end, man.
It's one of the trends, definitely. No, but in the end, that's why I'm talking to everyone. Like it's becoming harder and harder to write about new trends, because every single trend is basically just copycat of some previous trend, or it's a combination of different things. So it's where almost everybody is waiting for a new big innovation to be copied afterwards next day. But the trend in general is like, as you were seeing there, like while you were playing, you probably sometimes even didn't realize, like even in these copycats, you can see the first, I don't know which one it was. First example was you played it for 5 minutes. Then you opened their competitor or whatever it was, and immediately it went to store after second click or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All of a sudden, then also it's kind of a game with the user. Like, I don't want you to realize it's not that game, it's different game. So I will do the same thing, but I will drive you to the store much faster, and then I will do eventually second version, and so on, right? So,
I've never thought of it like that, dude, but you're right. That's a generally a smart logic to use in if you're doing that.
If you are not the first one, if you are the follower, right?
And see, and then we have like these different things, and I really love what Royal Kingdom is doing, because they are really experimenting with different shit, and the shit is like something that is actually scaling right now, because this, it's again pixel flow kind of, but this really, let's call him the dragon, and the near-death experience is taken from like the Kingdom Guard, the old like 4X game that everybody copied eventually, and they're using also this type of not playable but the video, but it's like the very similar concept. So I failed.
Are you showing it?
Yes. Wrong window. It was a wrong window. This one. So this one, because this, yeah, I'm showing it now. Because I have so many tabs and with so many different creatives. So this was like the one dragon that I mentioned from Kingdom. So yeah, I mean,
And again, like, you know how this works for my small ape mouse. Like, I will never remember name of the game, but I remember red loading screen, same end card with the diamond shape or hexagon shape.
hexagon, yes,
Like
yeah, this
this one,
Oh yeah.
absolutely templated ending and beginning. And again, the ape in my head is like, this is the red game, this is the blue game, this is the yellow game, whatever it is, right? So that's how my mind works, and at least for me, it works.
I've never seen that creative in the wild, but the fact is like a traditional tower defense and then it's Royal Kingdom. My mind is blown. I'm like,
yes, yeah,
you know, like tower defense for a match 3? Like, really? That's what it is? Okay.
that's what it is. I mean, and I'm blurred again. Great, it's fine. Never mind. I'm not important. The playables are important, which is fine. Yes, I mean, if you think about it, then match 3 is really trying to borrow all the mechanics again from different genres, and not only match 3, but all the different games as well. And even I'm trying to borrow the, let's call it, the successful mechanics from other games and just put it into either my creatives on video side or even playables, because that works.
Yeah, look, I mean, video plus playable is still the predominant winner for most SDK channels, right, Matej? Like standalone playable still doesn't.
Yeah, they don't get too many impressions, but still, I mean, the good part is that you can use them as a combination with video and then as a standalone playable. But anyway, I think we can end here because I'm fucking blurred. Hey, hello. See?
Your hand's not blurred.
My hand's not blurred.
Your camera's got short-sightedness like me. It's like when I take my glasses off, this is what I see in real life.
Yes, amazing. Anyway, so thank you very much, you guys, for coming. And also the listeners, thank you very much for listening. And, let us know what you think about Playables. If you saw any good trends, let us know in the comment section. And we see you next time. Cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.